Okay, hello everyone. This is Sharonda, and this is my YouTube podcast and YouTube channel, Magic Mind Medium. So I am going to do a spiritual subject for today regarding secret societies. So I have some information pulled up here. What exactly is a secret society? Well, as defined here, it is an organization about which the activities, events, inner functioning, or membership are concealed. The society may or may not attempt to conceal its existence. The term usually includes covert groups such as intelligence agencies or guerrilla warfare insurgencies that hide their activities and memberships but maintain a public presence. So these are they have some groups listed here, but I'm not going to go into those groups. I'm going to actually pull in belief systems. May not necessarily be quote unquote a secret society, but I'm going to um, put it all under the same umbrella. All right. So we're going to first start off with Scientology. What exactly is Scientology? So I first heard about Scientology. Um, Gosh, it has to be close to 20 years now, and I was surprised to find out that where I live, within like 20 minutes drive, there was actually a church, because when I first heard about Scientology, it was a church that many celebrities attended. You don't necessarily have to be a celebrity to be a Scientologist, but from my understanding, it was in California until I began to do a little bit of research then and seeing that these churches, I don't know how many of them there are, but there was one not too far from where I lived. And so I actually contacted on the website to receive some information because I was actually wanting to know. So it mentions that Scientology is a movement that has been described as a cult of business, a religion, and more. So the definition as defined here says Scientology is a set of beliefs and practices created by L. Ron Hubbard, an American author. It's been described as a cult, a business, a religion, a scam, or a new religious movement. So, as mentioned here, there are some controversies surrounding the Church of Scientology, which has been involved in many controversies, that they are dangerous, manipulative, and things of that nature. So, I'm not going to go into all of that information. But I think the reason why I put Scientology in with this secret society, because a lot of their information you may see presented on their website or what have you, but I guess you would have to be a member in order to get a lot of that understanding as to what it is. I do know from the research that I did in the past and the literature that I received that they have a specific set of morals and values and style of living, eating, and things of that nature. So I'm not going to get too much into it because I do feel as though, in my personal opinion, that it's a form of mind control, but that's just my opinion. So now we're going to get into Masons. What exactly is a Mason? And I'm talking about, not necessarily talking about a brick masonry. No, I'm talking about Freemasonry. What is Freemasonry? So it's a fraternal organization that trace their origins to the local guilds of stonemasons that formed the end of the 14th century, regulated the qualification of stonemasons and their interactions with authorities and clients. Freemasonry is the oldest fraternity in the world and among the oldest continued organization in history. So, it goes on to mention that modern Freemasonry broadly consists of two main recognition groups: regular Freemasonry, which insists that a volume of sacred laws, such as the Bible, the Quran, and other religious scripture, be open in a working lodge, that every member professes belief in a supreme being, that no women be admitted, and that the discussion of religion and politics do not take place within the lodge; and Continental Freemasonry, which consists of the jurisdictions that have removed some or all of these restrictions. So I added this on to this so-called secret society as well. This is another group or subgroup, cult, or whatever you want to refer to them as, that was started some time ago. I want to say from earlier research in England or something of the sort. And from my understanding, the founding fathers of this nation that we know of, if not one, maybe all of them, was Freemasonry. So I'm not going to get too in depth with it, but I do feel as though they have their own beliefs and how they do things. It goes on to mention rituals and ceremonies and things of that nature and what have you. So I'm not going to get too in depth with Freemasonry, but it is there for you to, go online and research. All right, so I was told some time ago that Eastern Star was the female chapter of the Freemasonry. So I am going to proceed to read some information to see if that's actually true. So it says the Order of the Eastern Star is a Masonic appendant body open to both men and women. And this mentions men and women. It was established in 1850 by lawyer and educator Rod Morris, a noted Freemason, and adopted and approved as an appendant body of the Masonic fraternity in 1873. The order is based on some teachings from the Bible and is open to people of all religions. It has approximately 10,000 chapters in 18 countries and approximately 500,000 members under its general grand chapter. It goes on to mention that members of the Order of the Eastern Star are aged 18 and older. Men must be Master Masons and women must have specific relationships with Masons. Originally, a woman would have to be the daughter, widow, wife, sister, or mother of a Master Mason. So it goes on to mention the order now allows other relatives as well as allowing Jode's daughters, Rainbow Girls, and members of the organization of Triangles to become members when of age. I'm not going to go too in depth about this particular organization or what have you, but the information is on there for those who choose to want to partake in knowing a little bit more about that. All right, so give me just a moment. Let me pull up another that I want to speak on. So this one is the Free Thinkers Society. Free Thinkers. So it goes on to mention that the Free Thinkers Society was an American organization founded as the Free Thinkers Society of New York in 1915. Later renamed the Society, was behind a number of lawsuits seeking to ensure the separation of church and state. Give me just a moment. Let me pull up some information. Um, so it says in 1925, the society was suing Mount Vernon, New York, to stop school authorities from requiring children to attend religious services, with the case picked up as important by attorney Clarence Darrow. As of 1926, publisher Joseph Lewis remained president after a court order favored their suit in early 1926. Later that year, the society instituted injunction proceedings against the Board of Education of White Plains, New York, over this decision of Superior Court Justice Ellis J. Staley to allow time out for children's religious instruction. So I guess it was pretty much fighting against the rights in terms of children and religion and schools and things of that nature. So it also mentions about prohibiting or prohibition of birth control therapy and things of that sort. So I'm going to say that I feel as though these associations or these quote unquote secret societies is people joining together to voice their opinion about some things that they may have been ostracized about, such as rights, your rights as a human being, your rights as a woman, your rights as a Black American, White American, Spanish, or whatever your heritage or culture is. And I think a lot of these groups we gravitate to be a voice because there's power driven in numbers is what that is across the spectrum, if that makes sense to anybody. Because there may be times where you may feel one way, however, people that look like you may not feel the same way that you feel. So I think ultimately that's what it means to be a free thinker. Not necessarily that, people that look like you don't think. No, they may not be presented with some of the challenges that you may be presented with. They may be presented with something where you're presented with something that's, so this have not been that much of a long recording. I actually have an app that I'm testing out on my phone or what have you, but I decided to come in here and speak about secret societies. Now, I'm actually going to go into the Illuminati as well for time purposes because I want this to actually last at least 15, maybe 20 minutes. So, I talked briefly on last week about the Illuminati, and, we haven't heard their terms spoken about. At least I haven't in quite some time. I did see some information to come up within the last few days. But the Illuminati, which means Illuminatus, enlightened, is a name given to several groups, both real and fictitious. Historically, the name usually refers to Bavarian Illuminati, an Enlightenment era secret society founded May 1st, 1776 in Bavaria, which is now known as Germany. The society's stated goals were to oppose superstition, obscurantism, religious influence over public life, and abuses of state power. It mentions the order of the day. They wrote in their general statutes is to put an end to the machinations of the purveyors or of injustice to control them without dominating them. So the Illuminati, along with the Freemasonry and other secret societies, were outlawed through edict by Charles Theodore, Elector of Bavaria, with the encouragement of the Catholic Church in 1784, 1785, 1787, and 1790. It goes on to mention that during the subsequent years, the group was generally vilified by conservative and religious critics who claim that Illuminati continued underground and were responsible for the French Revolutionary, I guess, War. Um, so, you know, the Illuminati and other secret societies, I do feel, continues to exist even to this day, and I think it's to be honest with you, I'm gonna tell you what revelation just came to me right now. Many of these people might be in these associations, but they don't classify themselves as such, or they may not be aware that that's what they are considered. If that makes sense to you, like say for instance, to be an atheist, many people may not consider themselves to be an atheist because that term has been ostracized, or that there's a stigma associated with the word of being an atheist, right? So, you may be in a spiritual duty or spirit related job field, which is what mimics being an atheist. However, you don't classify yourself as such. So I think secret society is such as that is pretty much for those who can read this information and kind of like even have an interest in. I'm not going to say can decipher because many people now may not have interest in want to know about things like that. But I'm going to say the revelation that just came to me is many people may be in these particular groups, but they do not necessarily classify themselves as such as it mentions the KKK up here as well, and all of these subgroups. That's what I'm going to say. All right. So I am going to conclude this episode of Magic Mind Medium, speaking on the spiritual subject of secret societies. If you have any questions, comments, or suggestions, you're more than welcome to comment below. Until then, have a safe and wonderful day.